Well, Aaron, Dan, the wine industry here on the Central Coast looking at every possible option for helping their Northern California partners, whether that be in the form of winery space, heavy equipment, or money.
We had always talked about coming down here for a trip at some point, just not under these circumstances.
Scott Ring of Minnesota planned to spend a week wine tasting with his wife in the Napa Valley. That is until flames and thick smoke forced him to change his plans and head south to Monterey County wine country.
And we tried to go to some other wineries, and everywhere we went was closed. So none of the employees could get to work, so they couldn't open.
Now he and others who were also up north find themselves crossing paths as they explore Central Coast wineries, and the money they're spending in tasting rooms may soon make it back to fire victims as Monterey County vintners and growers look to start a fundraising campaign to help those impacted by the fires.
And we'll have participating tasting rooms, wineries, restaurant partners, hotel partners, and honestly any other business that wants to participate. For the rest of October, they'll be donating a portion of their proceeds to go to fire relief efforts.
All power lines down, yeah, they need generators, as many generators as possible, just to keep up with everything.
Some wineries like this one in Santa Rosa lost everything but the vineyard, the tasting room, and winemaking facility in ashes. Growers locally and around the state putting out the call for heavy equipment and resources, and wineries also talking about possibly processing or storing the fruit just harvested before the inferno hit.
Hopefully that they get a sense of community, that we're here to back them up. And that they can rebuild. I mean, they're going to have to at some point. It is total devastation, and we just want to help them, whatever we can do.
But here's a potential problem. The roads in and out of that fire area is so choked with emergency personnel and equipment that it could be days before any resources reach those in need. Aaron, Dan.
Thank you, Felix.
Felix, thank you. Some wineries here on the Central Coast know firsthand the damage some of the Northern California wineries are currently dealing with. Last year's Soberanes fire in Big Sur caused ash to rain down on some vineyards, including one vineyard operated by the Bernardus Winery in Carmel Valley. The winery had to pass on last year's vintage because the ash ultimately would affect the outcome of any wine produced.
Missing a vintage is hard. You know, people are very passionate in this industry, and we like to work together, and we really feel what's going on up in Napa.
Bernardus Winery also took a similar hit back in 2008 during the Chalk Fire. That fire burned more than 16,000 acres. City of Santa Rosa seeing some of the worst devastation so far.
Entire neighborhoods gone, reduced to ash and rubble. Here's some drone video. Just
looks like another planet,
doesn't it? The footprints left where homes used to be in some cases. The only thing left standing in many places are fireplaces, a few blackened trees. Sonoma County Sheriff's Department says they are working to find all missing persons. The most important thing they are doing right now is to make sure residents leave. Those residents in evacuation zones, anyway, leave.
I can't emphasize it enough to people. If you look at how fast this fire burned and how fast it went through places, I think they underestimate how powerful and how dangerous it can be. And that's why I say if you're in an advisory, you got a place to go, go. You don't need to be here.
Sheriff's Department was escorting some people back to their homes to get important medications and in some cases try and rescue pets. They had to stop. They simply just, conditions were too dangerous. And then later in the day, they just simply ran out of people because they were trying to evacuate others. Local Jefferson Award honoree Alvin Seekert will be headed to the fire zone this weekend in Sonoma County. Every Sunday at 8:30 in the morning, Allen Friends serve breakfast to about 80 people on windows on the bay. After this weekend, he will drive up to the fire zone, he says, and serve food to the hungry.
We're going to take about 40 gallons of ham hocks and beans up to the fire zone there, and we're also taking brand new clothing.
Seekert says he's received about $700 in donations so far for fire victims and is getting food donations from local businesses.
we have seen in Northern California, wildfires can break out at any minute and quickly spread out of control. Emergency alerts could be the key, literally, between life and death.
We actually saw it in some cases in Santa Rosa. Action News reporter Phil Gomez is live from Santa Cruz with more on how those alerts are used in Santa Cruz County. Phil?
Well, Dan, Santa Cruz County has many tools at its disposal to alert the community of impending disasters like an earthquake, tsunami, or a fast-moving fire.
This is an emergency message from the Santa Cruz Sheriff's Office and Santa Cruz CAL FIRE. There's a large wildland fire on the Santa Clara County side of Loma Prieta, and you're receiving this message as notification to mandatorily evacuate.
This was the reverse 911 or Code Red order issued last year to homeowners and others living in the Loma Prieta area of Santa Cruz County. A Code Red is issued to a specific neighborhood, alerting that community of a potential hazard. Police and fire follow up, going door to door.
Like our Loma Prieta fire, you have the fire department and the sheriff's office and California Highway Patrol. Everyone is supporting and on all hands on deck, essentially, and going into those immediate threat neighborhoods.
The Santa Cruz Regional 911 Center also has a Code Red app that people living in Santa Cruz and San Benito counties can register to receive.
You can now link your cell phone number to your home address or to a family member's address, multiple addresses actually, to your phone number, so you will receive that notification.
It shows how we would create a message to be able to send it out to the community.
UC Santa Cruz has what they call Cruise Alert. Students are automatically signed up when they enroll. Patrick Goff, the Executive Director of Environmental Health and Safety and the Office of Emergency Safety, says the system sends text messages, voice messages, and emails. In an extreme emergency, all 30,000 students, faculty, and staff would be notified.
If they did not respond, they'll get another message that will go to voicemail, and then they also have the option to respond. And same thing with email.
Santa Cruz, San Benito, and Monterey counties are also set up to use what's called the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System, or IPAWS. It's administered by FEMA. The system automatically targets phones within a danger zone based on their proximity to a cell phone tower without requiring users to sign up for any kind of warnings. Dan, Aaron?
Thank you, Phil.
The Central Coast is offering help to fire victims. 10 volunteers from Monterey, San Benito, and Santa Cruz counties have been deployed to the burn zone. They'll be volunteering at shelters, and they plan to be there for at least 2 weeks. South Bay Horse Ranch in Gilroy also opening up their doors to horses evacuated by the fires. And the SPCA for Monterey County is taking in several birds from the International Bird Rescue in Fairfield because of poor air quality there.
Right now, a lot of concern about Napa County in the middle of a half-dozen fires burning in Northern California.
Action News reporter Max Resnick is live at the Napa County Fairgrounds with more on the firefight.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, the main concern tonight is going to be those shifting winds, which we've already experienced here in Napa County, and that is going to translate into the focus here on these 6 fires. These comprise the Southern Complex, burning through 70,000 acres here in the Napa area. But the biggest one, the Atlas Fire, that's the majority of the burn, 42,000 acres so far, forcing people from their homes. Along Monticello Road in Napa County, you'll find smoke, some lingering flames, and Constantino Pulo surveying his land.
They're telling me that it's still not contained in the back of me, so.
Constantino was told to evacuate, but chooses to stay behind.
Who's going to protect it?
The Atlas Fire burns near his home, a mammoth blaze already responsible for burning 42,000 acres of land and destroying more than 100 structures. It's 3% contained.
We did have flare-ups throughout all of the incidents, and the Atlas Fire did experience some flare-up and some growth.
The Atlas Fire joins the Partrick, Norbum, Nuns, Adobe, and Presley fires to create the Southern Complex, totaling 70,000 acres burned and just 7% containment. Things here could get worse.
We are in a red flag warning for strong northerly gusts and low relative humidities that will impact our fire areas.
It's what residents like Constantino don't want to see.
It's been pretty bad. My wife and I, we're both seniors, so.
While Constantino stays behind, so many others await word on their homes and pets. Dozens of people waiting for evacuation orders to be lifted to check the status of their homes. Live in Napa County, I'm Max Resnick. Back to you.
Max, thank you very much.
Thanks, Max.
Coming up at 6:30, we will have a closer look at just how CAL FIRE is attacking these fires from the air and a look at their strategy on the ground.
And don't forget, more fire coverage is always available on our website, ksbw.com. While you're there, sign up for those breaking news alerts. We'll send the breaking news alerts right to your smartphone or your tablet. It is just a great way to get the latest information 24 hours a day.